All right,
That's
guys,
funny.
let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. We are back. The boys are back at it with three guys, one Discord. I'm here with the homie Ed, who's up in this top corner over here, and then right above me is RC, and we got a special guest. She's a dynamo right now. She's killing it in South Texas. Really big in the film industry. You're gonna hear her name if you haven't heard it already in the next coming months, years. She's blowing up. She's our good friend Josiannesalcido. There she is, right there. All right.
It's Salcedo.
Is it
Not
Salcedo?
Salcedo.
Salcedo?
No, it's Salcido. Salcido.
It is Salcedo. Oh, I've always said Salcedo. I've always fucked that up.
Yeah, a lot
no.
of people do.
It's
a common
short-cedo. It's short-cedo.
Wow.
That's clever.
I've
She
never
told-
heard. That is so clever.
That's so clever. How long did that take you? All night?
No, I thought
Honestly.
Worked on it the last week.
He's been working on that all his whole life. to use that
you don't
word.
need to know about that, all right? It's been
I've heard so many short jokes, and that was the first one that used my last name like that. So, applaud you.
And like always, got me a cold drink. I suggest everyone in the Discord to get a cold drink. Yes, we're
Me, I
there.
do.
Cheers,
I got
mates.
extras. Cheers, babes.
Clink. It's good to have everyone. So, Josie, go ahead and tell the listeners something about you.
Other
Something
than your
about. I mean,
Your projects, what's your future endeavors, your projects, and things you're working on right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna list all your
Yeah.
Instagram and socials in the description.
that's cool. Well, currently I work at a Museum of Science and History as a video production person. So to everything from TikTok to YouTube to any promotional ads that you could think of, that's what I do, and that's my hobby. That's my life. That's what I eat, breathe, and sleep is filmmaking. So I'm an actress. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a DP. I'm a producer. I wear very many hats in my life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have some future projects coming up. They're still in pre-production. So that one of them, like one of the big ones that I've done recently, is called Las Vidanes. So that's going to be coming out hopefully soon this year or so. But we get newsletters and stuff. I was the main character. I have lots of scenes. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears was, made or created to make that or whatever. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for that. I'm in pre-production for another short film that I'm creating. So lots of fun things happening. Lots of fun things coming. Working on more short films. So that's pretty much my life. Just filmmaking every day of my life.
Fantastic. It's really good to have you. I was very excited to
Yeah.
bring you on. If you don't know this, Squid over here in the corner and Josie have been friends for years, and he's like, we got to get Josie on this podcast. I was
Yeah.
like, bet, bruh.
Besties.
So we're glad to have you. And boys, how y'all doing today?
Going. It's a Sunday. It's cozy.
It is
fucking
Sunday.
tired, but,
Always.
still going.
Always. Yeah, we do film on Sundays, guys, and we'll be releasing every single Wednesday on Spotify and Apple Music and probably other anywhere else you find podcasts. We'll be listed on there. I just don't know it because I don't have any. I only listen to Spotify. I don't even listen to Apple. I'm a
Same,
Spotify.
yeah.
So,
Me either. Apple who? No, I'm just kidding.
sponsors drop. Sponsors drop.
The YouTube and Spotify. Those are like the two go-tos.
I have Apple everything. Oh my god.
So you can definitely find us on YouTube. We'll have clips on TikTok. This is really gonna kind of be our main platform. Will be Spotify, Apple Music, and of course the YouTube. But you will find us on other premium podcast channels. All right, guys. So now to introduce the topic. The topic today is gonna be 3 signs or traits that you are in a toxic relationship. And I'm gonna start. I'm looking up. I'm gonna go like in a circle. So it's a circle. It's a circle. So it goes on.
Where am
It's the circle.
Does the circle go this way or that
Where
way?
am I
or-
at? Because it's different from when you
I'm gonna
introduced
tell
us
you
to
where
me.
you guys are
Can we
at.
connect it like a pentagram or is
Okay,
it
then just tell us who's speaking.
Pentagram. What is this? A ritual?
Summon.
It's gonna.
It's a cult.
Yeah,
Are we in a cult right now?
Not yet. We'll get there, guys. Especially when we get that.
We're
cult
already-
following.
it's the cult of glasses.
Cult. Hey, we're all wearing
Glasses.
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 It's
I don't
our-
have
Josie-
glasses.
Get your fucking glasses right now.
I have glasses. Bitch, I will get them.
She said, bitch. It goes RC, Ed, Josie, then me in that circle.
Okay.
So RC.
So do we say all three at the same time, or we just say one and then we pass it
Talk
on, just
about
kind of
it.
keep
Say,
moving?
say all
Yeah.
three, and then we'll discuss. Say your first one, and we'll discuss. Second, discuss, and third, we'll discuss. Do it in this order, from least to greatest. Like most not known, or I guess highly controversial one, or whichever one you think the hottest one is. Say that for the end. Get the viewers all.
Oh, and it's toxic behaviors, right? Or toxic
Or
things that would be within a
signs.
relationship.
Signs,
Yeah.
Signs.
Like if they're licking
Okay.
their toenails in the middle of the night, that's something that's toxic. I don't even know that. I'm just saying. It could be toxic.
That if you look at their toenails?
Licking their toenails at night and shit.
Licking.
Like that shit.
Hey, they could be into that. So, like, you don't even know.
Yeah, man.
By
She
themselves.
has a point.
People make money off of feet pics.
That's
Hell yeah.
true.
I thought about it.
We're all thinking about
I
it.
was like,
if I didn't have,
I'm a starving artist.
if I didn't have athlete's feet, I'd be all over that. All right, go ahead, RC. So list your first one, and we'll talk about it. I'm very curious.
First one lowest, right? First one least.
Your least
Yeah.
least hottest one that you have. Maybe like
Okay.
something small.
Oh well, I know which one my main one was gonna be, so I fucked that up. I had my rotation backwards now. Personally, a trait that I know I've always found extremely toxic, and it's something that I guess maybe I'm just picky about, but that's just communication.
Let me go ahead and preface this real
someone-
quick that this is all our personal
Opinions.
opinions. So if
Yeah.
this happened to you, it might not be the case for you guys. This is what we believe in our past relationships. So don't take it to heart if this is all. If we're listing on 9 traits and your significant other has all 9, I'm sure they're not that bad. But if they do, it's up to you. Again, these are our personal beliefs that happened in our past. Go ahead, RC. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Mine will be that whole, mental connection, that communication standpoint in a relationship, being able to openly talk about whatever you needed to with somebody and express your own opinion or feeling without feeling like you're going to get shunned or it's just going to start a fight or just be miserable or they're going to leave you because you said this or that based off your mentality or your opinion on the subject.
So like
That's
open
definitely-
debates, like being vulnerable, is that part of that as well?
I guess I would think so, right? Because you have to be open-minded for a lot of different things. You can't, when you're trying to connect with another person, doesn't matter who that person is, you have to be open-minded to their own views and own specifics. Now, granted, personal morals and shit like that gets twisted up, but that's a whole other monster. When it comes to just pure communication and talking with somebody, being able to have that open train of communication, it doesn't always happen, and that definitely is something that people take that specific narrative and follow it with relationship after relationship, and then they'll stop and think of like, why don't any of my relationships work? Well, have you ever fucking told that person that you didn't like they did this or that, or maybe you're that headstrong person that when someone messes up or someone does something wrong, you become violent or aggressive or shut off? Back to communication. That shit'll ruin any relationship if you're not good with it.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Agreed.
That makes sense.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Especially right
for
now,
sure.
a hot topic that's going on right now that's being talked about is that men are looked down if they're vulnerable. So if you have a partner that does that,
Oh, that masculinity thing.
yeah, like to them, a lot of women might not be interested in someone that's being vulnerable, that's crying in front of them and stuff. So definitely, if you could be vulnerable with your partner, that definitely shows a good sign that they're that they're the one, or they're very they're a potential suitor. But if you can't communicate, that's also the opposite effect. It's definitely toxic if you can't communicate. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
I agree. All right.
Yeah.
RC, what do you got for number 2? Can't dance.
real specific, real picky about it.
Fingernails are too long.
Ew. They got that Coke now.
Not for the children. Go ahead, RC.
So I guess my second one was a little more on the specific side, being like this is a common trait that a lot of people have, but and then this one's going to be a very, very specific, heated one. Believe it or not, my actual main one is better, but not specifying mental disorders or mental health issues. because
Wait.
going into
Oh,
a
sorry.
relationship. Sorry, Josie. Going into any type of relationship or anything, while knowing that, hey, I have bipolar disorder, or I have depression, or I have anxiety, or I have something that I know for a fact is gonna fuck me up, and not expressing that or not being willing to work with whoever you're with or partner to understand how to handle certain situations or do things like that. I know that's something I dealt with in my current relationship. So to this day, me and my wife have issues where I either can't go somewhere and she doesn't understand, why can't you go there? I was like, trust me, it's better that I don't versus that I do. And even that, just other past relationships where it's like, hey, look, I can't do this and here's why. And they're like, oh, you're just being a fucking baby. No, I'm not. I have a fucking problem.
Got it.
So
I felt that
definitely,
one.
yeah, lack. So tying back in, I guess, kind of with communication, but just in general, mental health issues that are being unaddressed or that are being pushed to the side because of selfishness or whatever the case may be.
It's
That's
the
definitely something that,
understanding.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
the understanding of that person's mental health or whatever they've got going on.
yeah, but it
Mhm.
also goes back to that masculinity thing, like you said, where like, oh, you're just being a baby. It's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to express myself here, and you're putting me down because, you know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there's
I've
that problem.
definitely been called like a baby or too emotional or too this, too that, blah blah blah.
That's just
That
true.
just goes to like the understanding thing.
Definitely, definitely. I agree totally.
Uh,
Again, we will have an episode addressing mental health, but
Hmm.
definitely that's a big one right there. And a lot of people are afraid to admit that they have problems because they're afraid that their partner or their potential partner are not be interested in them. So if you tell someone like, "Yeah, I have this," or you're that partner, if they really want to, they can be like, "That's kind of a red flag." She has social anxiety, so I guess we can never go out. Great, but that's not really about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you want to be around people. Sometimes you don't. But if they're willing to work with you and kind of work
Yeah.
on your mental health together, then of course that's a good sign. But again, it could be volatile if it's on the opposite end. If you don't tell your partner that you have this issue and you're just kind of acting out, then they're gonna take that as like, oh, well then,
This person's crazy.
yeah, this you don't want to go out. We never go out anymore. Behold and behold, it's that you have social anxiety, so that's why you don't
Yeah.
want to go out. But you never told
Right.
them, so that could be that's the
yeah,
toxic part there. That is a really good one, I see.
yeah.
And then the biggest one I see that doesn't get talked about is bipolar disorder, right? I dated a couple girls who had bipolar disorder going into their relationship or whatever it was. They didn't say anything, and the next thing you know, we're all good 1 minute, and then they flip the fucking script. Like, that's the kind of stuff you have to communicate that shit with someone you're talking to, or at least relevantly interested in talking to, because you, especially with a female standpoint, right? You flip out as a guy like that, having that kind of issue or whatever. You're just a violent person, or a
Yeah.
female. She's crazy. There's always that hard. If no
Stigma.
one understands why that happened or what's going on up here, then you're just labeled as this or that, and it fucking
The
Mm-hmm.
sucks.
the jaded assumptions
Yeah.
that people make on certain things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one. All right.
And my last one, actually, funny enough that you mentioned the whole, men being vulnerable thing. My last one's actually going to be specifically towards men, and it's going to be kind of a jaded opinion. Pride. Pridefulness in a man will ruin any fucking relationship.
Agreed.
Because men,
Felt.
unfortunately, can't step themselves away from certain stigmas, like having to be the breadwinner, or a woman that can do more than him, beat him at certain sports, be fucking make more money than him, whatever the case may be. There are a lot of men out there that won't be with women who aren't gonna know their place, as some fucking guys like to say, or they belong in the kitchen, or they belong at home with kids. They don't belong doing this or that, or it's not their responsibility. It's the man's responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
That shit'll get you fucked over in a relationship pretty damn fast,
Agreed.
Like that,
really
dude.
fast.
Super
And
fast.
that's an extremely toxic trait that a lot of men do carry, and
Mm-hmm.
can't get past. They themselves can't. They can't let it go.
I see that a lot, actually, for
Mhm.
sure.
I have
They're like intimidated by a woman's success or if she gets paid more or whatever, which is really dumb.
agreed. Yeah, pay my bills.
Oh, I'm saying,
Hi.
husband, like, let's go. Fuck, shit.
Pay all my bills, please, please.
Hi.
I definitely think pride is a big thing that men carry around. I think it was I forget who said it. It says that pride is the anesthesia for stupidity. So it really just like when you're prideful, it really is fine to be prideful in a sense, but when it starts to kind of like dip into like where you're especially whenever you're amongst other men and like girls walk in the room, the guys just
Yeah.
switch gears. Like you're talking about politics, and they're like, "Yeah, 200 push-ups, just did it like in the restroom without even sweating."
I can tell.
Reps of 4. You know, it's like I'm being I'm joking about it, but that's how it is. It's like you can't even have pride, too much pride, because now it's like it gets toxic no matter what. And if you're too prideful, you're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities. So that's definitely one, especially in the relationship. I know a lot of men that are like, "No, she can't make more than money. I'm just gonna ask her to step down. She can't wear that. No, I don't want other guys looking at her."
Oh man,
Yeah,
I know so many. I know a specific guy that's like super like, oh, you can't wear that, or like out whatever. Like people are gonna be looking at you. You can't have like social media because like all of these guys are gonna be looking at you and blah blah blah. Like just so bad. And I'm just like, dude, why are you still with him? I'm just like, that's insane.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of pride that goes into that. Like kids,
that's crazy.
especially like in his like Hispanic household, like that pride.
He is the one that I'm talking about.
crazy.
Hispanic.
I was
Yeah.
and from Hispanic side of things, bro, that is like instilled in men at a very young age. You are the man. You're the breadwinner. You're everything.
Yeah.
So bad.
What do you mean?
Shit ain't like that no more.
Yeah, it's changed so much, and of course that's still kind of being brought in to the Hispanic household. Is that like 'cause all our parents that are men, that they were the breadwinners. They were the ones out in the field. While we had, prior to us being born, we had what was known as the nucleus family: mom, dad, 2 kids, dog. Dad worked all day. Mom stayed at home and cooked, cleaned, got the kids ready for school. That was the nucleus family we had. Nowadays, it's more progressive. It's changed. Women are in school.
The
women
dynamic's
are-
different.
So it's definitely a big one that pride, and it's hopefully it's getting better though. But yeah, you're right. That is a very toxic one.
It's
Sad
really
thing
hard
is-
to explain that to like my mom and my dad who are like 60 and 67, you know what I mean? Like to my brother who's like 30 something years old. It's so hard to explain to them like, guys, it's different now. Like.
But like, it's a culture thing,
Yeah.
They grew up throughout, their lives and stuff, seeing the same thing. We're such in a new age stance on that it's the culture is not going to change, especially with older people. As it gets bad as
Yeah.
they say, that they're not going to get it, they're not going to think about it, or they just don't care. And like, well, this is how it is. You stick to this, and they're going to push it on us and their kids and everything, and make them more difficult in their life because okay, well, I got to do this because I want to make them happy and I want to keep it like this. And it just really ruins a person down if it's very enforced like that.
I'm like, it ends with me. All those toxic behaviors ends now.
Good ones, RC. I really like those. That was good. I appreciate. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Ed, what do you got?
I don't know if mine will be good, but it's just stuff that I've, I guess, seen in my past. We're going least of most, I guess. The first one I'm gonna say is them like always getting to your significant other always having to be with you and not being able to have that time apart or even like go an hour without talking to you. Like if I'm playing games with people and I forget to text them back for an hour or 2 hours and they're getting mad at you because you haven't talked to them. It's like, well, I'm spending time with this person, like my friends or something, and it's like you can't be getting upset about that because I'm trying to have a little bit of alone time, but they always got to be either with you or talking to you. You got to have that separation with that person because you got to have your life, their life, and then y'all's life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just not
100%
gonna
agree.
it's not going to be good.
Linger,
No.
linger,
lingerer.
a linger. That's the worst call you can have.
I guess mine are all going to be relatively most basic ones because it's what I've been through.
No,
But
those are good.
that's
No, I mean,
Hey,
they make
those are what-
sense.
Yeah.
I've had that,
yeah, I know.
It's definitely it's rough whenever you have someone that's constantly needs to be in contact with you, because some significant somebody in your life could have the free time to constantly text you, but when you're working, especially Ed, you're working all night long,
Or all
and,
day, yeah.
and it's not even like you're like having downtime. You're literally out there working the whole time. So when you have a job like that, you can't stop every 5 minutes to text them. Even every hour is going to be like, oh, I got to text her. It's almost, you take
Yeah.
something that could be as romantic as texting, like an I love you or an I miss you text, to a chore. So it actually is even
Draining,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, it's now a chore that you got to text them. Yeah, so that's agreed. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that
Yeah.
one.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. My other ones were. I think y'all really know about this one. Them getting upset when you don't hang out with them to hang out with your friends. Kind of the same thing, but it's a little different. Like on the factor
Yeah.
of, like, if in the past, like, I've been hanging out with my friends and that person would get genuinely upset. Not even if I was gonna hang out with them, I would just, because I was hanging out with my friends.
Agreed.
Like,
But like because you had like a
because I had
life,
friends. Yeah, because
you know?
I had a life. Yeah.
Because he was doing something else other than putting 100% attention to that individual.
And at the
Yeah.
time, I was still texting them the entire time, but they were
Yeah.
getting upset because I was with my friends. Like, of
Right.
course, it's still kind of the same, but this one also is, it's different just because the fact, like, you know, I wasn't ignoring them. I wasn't not ignoring
Yeah.
them. It's just
It's like they're
I
pulling
was-
you away from your
they're
clique,
pulling
your
exactly.
people, and it's like, why are you pulling me away from these people? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's
And
iffy.
I feel it borderlines that and one of you, Steve and Josie, might actually touch on these, is that jealousy and I blinked the other one, but
Forget
jealousy for sure. Oh, and trust issues, right?
Oh.
Commonly people that are like that are very headstrong, clingy, and can't let you go do this or that or whatnot, like Squid has expressed, commonly have severe trust issues because either they were fucked over before or they're the one that has made mistakes in the past and they can't give that leeway.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have major trust issues for sure. No, for sure. I'm still learning to, like, you know, recognize what I'm doing and recognize those traits and stuff. But for sure, I have trust issues.
But therein lies the differences because you're actually, you understand you're working on it.
Yeah.
Most
yeah.
people won't. They'll just keep it in their heads and they'll ruin their relationships or future prospects of it because they won't get past that or try and
For
better
sure.
themselves by fixing it.
I feel like the biggest like thing in a relationship is trust. For me, at least, is just
100%.
trust.
Agreed,
You know, trusting in, and I feel like that ties into everything. Trusting in that they won't leave you because you have a mental disorder. That they won't leave you because they're with their friends. You know what I mean? Like that they're overthinking. Like, what if they don't like me? What if they're doing this? What if they're doing that? That has to go with like the whole entire like trust issue thing. But like I said, like working on recognizing those triggers, recognizing where that's coming from like your past, and working on healing basically is the important part.
And that goes back to, what Archie was saying about, and you were saying, like, you can't go out in this, you can't go out in that. And it's like, you got to trust them. Like, if they want to wear their outfit, let them wear their outfit. You know they're yours.
Exactly.
You got to trust them that even if they're wearing some scandalous outfit, you think they look good.
coming home.
And you know that they're going to come back home to you.
Yeah.
But therein lies the
Absolutely.
problems with all that trust.
And definitely a level of jealousy that RC was saying, like the level, because I do think that
that one.
that girls do get jealous when you're out there giggling with your boys. You're like, oh, like you go hang out with your boys, she calls you up, and you're over there, you're so funny, Steve. I'm funny too. Like, like that's how I feel like it's definitely there. Like you're gonna, you can have fun without me, and that upsets me. I'm jealous because that's not always the case. We're not always having fun as a couple. Sometimes we're not having. Sometimes we're grim, like we're arguing. But you're over there giggling with your little boyfriends over there having a blasty blast, And that's something I feel like that is a jealousy thing. I know for me, like I'm like, not anymore. But when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I'm so jealous. She's having a good old time with her friends, and like she doesn't have she don't laugh like that around me. But that was also kind of an insecurity thing, but definitely a jealousy thing on my end, and also on like girls will do it too. Like you're over there laughing with your boys. Especially, I do feel like there's a stigma because nowadays boys are so intimate. Like we're all intimate, we're all hugging and high fiving. I can see the jealousy on that end too. Like you don't hug me like that. You don't swing me around like that when you're around me.
You don't randomly walk over and grab my ass.
Yeah,
It's the
your best
homies.
friend. You don't hold me and swing me around like that, bitch. Like, come on.
But that also goes like if you're arguing with your girl or something, your boys are always going to be there, or your girls always going to be there to help you feel better. So if they call you up and you're giggling with them or laughing, that's because they know you're not happy or you're in a bad spot at the moment. So they're trying to make everything's light and better and help you out. And so it just goes back to the same thing.
Well, that could be another issue. Like maybe your significant other hears you like healing without them. Like they're still festering on the argument, and you're over there laughing with your boys. That also could be something.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the severity of the argument. If it's something stupid, then there's no reason to be. If y'all have some time apart to really think about y'all's sides of it, then okay, you could be better. But if it's something different, then yeah. If it's something bad, of course, yeah, it'll be messed up. If you're laughing with them and not even worrying about like if you had messed up or something.
Yeah, I was just giving a quick example, but that's a good one. I like that one. Go ahead.
Thank you. The last one, I guess from my experiences, getting kind of bullied / put down by your significant other. I don't know if I say constantly, but at least in retrospect to where your friends see it or they use it, like they use a excuse as in like a mental disorder or something like anxiety or something, and they put you down or they're trying to keep you in a place so they don't leave you don't leave them. Yeah. That is one of the most toxic things I've seen, and I hate that.
I feel that. I feel that.
Really trying to recognize that a lot more because in the past I haven't recognized it, and I've been through shit because of it. But that is a big one to me. Is like
it's hard to recognize when your significant other is either like, are they trying to like help you grow, but like in a weird, rude way, or is it like, you know what I mean? Like in your head, whenever you don't recognize these things, you give them excuses of like, of just like, are you just saying that because are you just joking, or is this like, are you borderline mad at me and that's why you're like passive aggressiveness, or is this something like, you know what I mean? Like it has. Yeah. So to recognize when your significant other is putting you down a lot and knowing when it's not a playful thing, you know what I mean? It's actually more harming to you than to say those things to begin with,
Yeah, but that also goes in the fact of tone, and then like and I guess this might sound messed up, but like the whole girl thing of I'm fine, where y'all just like straight tone and y'all say you're fine, you say everything's okay, and most people can't tell. I think some guys do this too, but you can't tell whether or not they're serious or not sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can perceive it as a different way. If they actually are fine, you can perceive it as a bad thing, but then they're actually mad, but you perceive it as a good thing, and it's like, okay, what do you got to say?
When somebody says I'm fine, it's never fine.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is the so frustrating thing when the girl comes over to give you a kiss. She's like, no, I'm fine. You're good. Don't worry. And then 2 hours later, so motherfucker.
Yeah.
But you think they're okay. You think everything's fine.
Not fine.
No,
don't think that.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Never fine.
I think the term I'm fine comes from this idea that I'm not okay, but I don't want to talk it right now. So if I say I'm fine, maybe you'll leave me alone and we can talk about it later. So I definitely feel like a lot of people say I'm fine, I'm okay. So you would
to avoid the confrontation,
especially like whenever you're dealing with something big, like whenever I'm dealing with something, but I don't, and our friends like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I just say that most times when I'm not, just so they can go to sleep. I don't want them worrying about me. But that's not what the case that you're getting at. I understand what you're saying. It's like there's an issue that's pressing. You think you're okay, and you're really not. But that's actually a really good one, Edward. I really like that one. I mean, that's a tough one because it's almost like a form of Stockholm syndrome. Like they're bullying you, and you're like now you're getting on like like you're trusting them. And you're getting more on them. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome without the threat of your life being over. But
I thought your life's still over.
Yeah, mentally. But it's bad when they bully you because sometimes people are like, oh, they're flirting. They're just being cute. No, they're not being cute. Like, they literally just went after you, like, in a very toxic way. They brought up something that was private in front of your friends or something like that.
Oof, that's never good.
Yeah, like, especially, like, whenever you have, like, someone, like, if you ever, especially in a Hispanic household, if you ever tell a family member that you have like high cholesterol, don't bring that shit up at the barbecue.
You can't eat that shit. You got high cholesterol
all the time.
But I've had girlfriends that would be like I'll be at sitting down. I'll be like, you shouldn't be eating that, Steve. You're high cholesterol. Like, just tell the whole family, and they would do it on the sole verge of embarrassing me. Like things like that. Like, but I understand where Squid's coming from because it helps them if they could bully you and be because that puts you in the spot they need you to be in, so they can be okay. So when they put you down there, they make you feel lower than they are. Then they can control you. They can make you like, especially like if you have plans or you're doing something today and they say I'm fine, I'm good. Then what happens after that? You don't do anything because you're afraid to go out. You don't play with your friends because you're afraid that it's going to make an argument. You're literally afraid to do anything because there's something pressing right now and it still hasn't been addressed.
Yeah. Or you're out with your friends, they say that, and then it just ruins your whole night because you're worrying about the entire thing.
Fixated on that now.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, well, shit. What did I do? What's going on? And times it might even have to do with you, but they just mess everything up because now you're worrying about it and you don't get to have a good time.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, and that's how they control you. Now they controlling your fun. Now they're controlling the time you have with your friends. And guess what happens after that? You still got to go home and face them. So it's not like you can avoid it. And it's one of those things that it's constantly going to be an issue if you allow it. It hasn't really been prominent in my life. It hasn't been an issue, but actually, never mind. It has. You're right. It has. I got bullied into like not being able to see my family, my friends, by a girl, and it's very toxic. It's like,
wait, your family?
Yeah, family too. Like, where are you going? I'm gonna go see my cousin. Well, we had plans. No, we didn't. What we do now, like just like making up random plans or making up things that we had to do that's right now instead of like allowing me to go out. Well, then go. I don't care. Go. Bye. Whatever.
Yeah.
The family part's messed up.
Especially in that one. That one was bad. She'd be like, bye. Don't expect me to be here whenever you get back. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Don't expect
me
to be
your
here.
family?
Ugly toxic,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's bad.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous.
But yeah, that's definitely something that I felt, and it's really easy for them too. All they got to do is pass it off as I was just kidding. They always have a cop out. They can't.
I'm sorry, I was upset. Like, no.
Especially what Ed said about the mental thing, because that's such an easy cop out for a lot of people. Not saying it's not true. A lot of people are suffering, but if you're constantly saying, "Oh, I did it because my depression. That's why I bullied you," like it comes to the point where like. Just because you're feeling depressed doesn't mean you got to bring me down. I understand you're having problems.
Yeah.
We can work on that, but doesn't mean that you have to like pick on me.
There's constructive ways to handle any situation with mental health disorders. There's every other way than belittling or bringing someone else down. Period.
Yeah.
Agreed. That was a good one, Edward. I really liked that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. All right.
Who's up next?
It should be Josie, and I'll go last. I didn't want Josie to go first because I wanted her to get the feel for it. No, so
The flow.
The flow, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So for my first one, that I think is like when you start realizing if something is toxic or a toxic trait or like you feel like you're in a toxic relationship is the way that you feel when you leave that person. So like if you're hanging out or like on a date or just in general, when you leave and you go home at the end of the day or you're away from them, what is that feeling you feel after? Like, is it bad? Do you feel like you want to cry? Do you feel like it wasn't good? Like I feel like that's something that people should look at is just like, how do you feel after you hang out with them? What is left with you? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling giggly? Like, is it good? That's good. But if you're feeling constantly like, I don't know what this is, or did they say something different, or was that not okay, or like that kind of thing, I feel like is something that should be looked at if you feel like you're kind of in a toxic relationship, or you just don't know if you're in a toxic relationship. That's definitely a sign to see if you are or not, is how you feel with them and how you feel without them. What?
I say like if you feel drained or relieved, like after you leave them.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah.
Running
not
out
good.
with somebody and then you're like, oh my God, thank God I'm not with them anymore.
Exactly.
That's a red
But
flag.
it's like a sad thing because it's like
Yeah.
you want to be with this person, you do, and it's just like it's either you like disassociate yourself while you're with them and you're just kind of like overthinking like I want yeah, and then you leave, and then feel like, was that good or was that bad, or like just the not knowing is what I feel like is a little hint of a toxic relationship. I feel is the way that they leave you feeling after they've hung out with you and stuff.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
feel.
Agreed. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Like feeling
that's a
dead
really
after
good.
you leave, like feeling like
Yeah,
I felt like feeling
it's the
numb.
energy.
Like
Hmm.
driving home and like you're not even listening to music. It's just quiet. You keep
Or
looking at
Yeah,
in your head.
you keep looking at the mirror.
I'm
Like
not even gonna lie, that's happened.
Yeah, you just feel
Yeah.
like everything drained, like you need a nap, and it's like only noon or something. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
that
It's
that's
does
just
that.
like it's the energy that they bring you and give to you. You're supposed to, in a relationship, you're supposed to like fill each other up, like you give them, it's give and take. But if you're feeling like you're questioning everything constantly and you don't know, like, if they were happy during your conversations that you just had with them, or that kind of situation, that is, to me, I feel like a toxic red flag, or just a sign that you're in a toxic relationship, that the feeling that you get whenever you leave that person.
a good
Yeah,
one. I like that one.
but that could also go back to the mental health with the anxieties and just getting in your own head about it too, though. That
For
is
sure.
another thing.
No, I get that, but I'm saying,
But I get you.
aside from anxiety and stuff, just but like with the communication and things like that, of that nature, it's knowing your partner and knowing,
Mhm.
like, is this something that I want? Like, are they saying things that, like, are they putting me down, or are they accepting me, or are we communicating correctly, or that kind of thing. um there's a
Uh,
lot of factors that come into it, but I do think that to realize that you're in a toxic relationship, or a trait or a sign, is that, like, multiple times over hanging out and stuff, how are they leaving you with that feeling? Like, if you're leaving every single time not feeling great, a lot, like 60% of the time, 80% of the time, that's not okay. Like, that's something that you need to bring up to your partner, like, hey, like, something's up. If you're leaving and it's not good, it's not, you're not happy, you're feeling kind of uncomfortable, I feel like that's a major sign of a toxic trait, or sign that you're in a toxic relationship. I've asked myself multiple times, like, I'm just like sitting here and I'm just like, how do I know? Like, how do I know if it's a toxic relationship? How do I know I'm in this toxic, like, and then I would think to myself, what if it is anxiety? What if I'm just overthinking? But for it to be constant, and for you to understand and try and, like, fix and heal yourself, and you're still feeling these sorts of ways, you're doing the communication, you're doing all of the steps that you can to, like, talk to them and tell them these things, but if you're still leaving, like, drained, and you're still leaving, like, I don't think that was helpful or anything, then I feel like that's something that you should definitely, look at in your whole entire relationship with that person. Like, is this person actually, giving you the love and affection that you need as a person? Because a lot of people needs are different. So are you getting what you deserve, basically? Because
Mhm.
everybody deserves, like, a happy, healthy life and love life. So
definitely.
that's one of my the,
No,
the
that's
things.
a good sign. Yeah, that's a good sign. What about like a level of relief when you leave them? Like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't have to be this person that I'm portraying to be. Like you
I've
drive
also
home.
had that.
Yeah,
The fake persona.
yeah. I
I've
feel like
also
that's a
had
thing.
that.
So I feel like
Yeah,
that could be one as
where
well.
where where I would, like, daydream and, like, wonder, like, I wonder how I would feel if, like, I didn't see their car at the house. Like, would I feel good? And, like, usually, like, I was relieved, which is kind of sad, but also, like, that's how you start to know if it's not good. Like,
Yeah.
like, if you're relieved that, oh, they're not home right now, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then you start to realize that's not good. Not okay if you're in a relationship. So I think that's definitely a sign that it could be toxic.
Yeah.
Agreed. RC, do you want to touch on that? I saw you. I don't know if you said something because you light up a little.
No. You're fine. You're
Okay,
fine. No,
all right,
she
good.
said everything that I ain't got nothing. I don't know nothing I need to say.
No, I like it. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Josie. What's your number 2?
Oof, this one's getting a little bit harder. So number 2, for me at least. So I feel, like I said, to realize that you're in a toxic relationship is very hard whenever you're trying your hardest to just, like wonder if it is just anxiety or wonder if it is just you or blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if it's come to a point where this person is, if you're just like an off and on relationship, just constantly either, yes, we're together, no, we're not together, yes, we're together, no, we're not together, just constantly breaking up and making up, I feel like is very toxic. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that that's happening, and then you just blink and it's been 4 years and you've been constantly off and on, It's hard to realize that whenever you're, in love, or not in love, but like love that person, because there's a difference between being in love and loving a person, So for me, I think the toxic trait is the on again, off again thing. So if you're just always on again, always off again, just back and forth is something that you need to look at and is like, that's toxic. Why am I constantly going back to this person when I know that it's just the same thing? They constantly say like, oh yeah, like it'll be different, or yes, I'll change, or blah, blah, blah. Like, like the same old breakup thing that people say and stuff and get back together, I feel like is a toxic trait. Because I do think that a lot of people who get like are on again, off again relationship wise for over like years or whatever, don't realize that that is something toxic, because they're just super like infatuated and into whoever they're with and trying to make it work, or the outside factors of like family and just like, that relationship that you have with them, and either being scared of being alone or that kind of thing. They kind of just stop looking at like the years that's gone by and the off again relationship that you've had with this person. So to sit and stop and think like, hey, how many times have we actually tried to make this relationship work, and how many times has it failed? And like, not to say like, of course you're gonna have times where, you don't agree with each other and stuff like that, but to the point of breaking up, to the point of like, you move out, you come back, and then coming back together. Just the point of just like big explosion and then coming back together, big explosion, coming back together. That's definitely something that's not healthy. It's not healthy. And it's something that people need to, realize and understand that that's a part of a toxic relationship, or a toxic trait that y'all both have, that the fact that y'all keep on separating. It's like, if you're gonna stay together, then stay together, then work it out. Don't move out, don't do any of that stuff, like work it out then. But if it's done, then it's done, let it go. If they're gone, that's it. You have to be able to just realize that the going back and forth is not it. It's not healthy. Definitely. That's not okay.
Definitely the Schrodinger's cats of relationships. I mean, and it has the idea behind it is actually kind of clever. It's like when we first started dating, we were so in love. So maybe if we break up and get back together, we can revamp that love. And that constant idea of maybe I'm
try to break the complacency.
Yeah, it really brings them in. Yeah. But I understand that.
It's the feeling of like, it's the feeling of like being alone. Of whenever like you're separated and stuff, it's the feeling of being alone. Like, oh no, like I'm alone now, and this person knew everything about me. Like maybe we should, like maybe it was just me, maybe it was just this, maybe it was that, but nothing really gets solved. A level of nothing really gets solved.
Yeah. And then you start that honeymoon
kicks
phase,
in, and it's Sorry, so
and then it just gets worse and worse after years.
Yeah, because every time y'all get back together, it's like, oh, that honeymoon phase again, and then it gets bad, then y'all break up, then you get back together, and it's good again, then you break up. Yeah. No, I get
And
that.
that's not good.
And then it
Not
even
at
dips
all.
into like territory where like they'll break up just so they could have like a one of those notorious sneaky links. And now you've
Yeah.
introduced
Yeah.
like a person into the
And it
relationship,
could be that.
and now the level of trust is really gone. Like, why did you do that? Well, you knew
Mhm.
we were gonna get back together. Well, how did I know that? Because we got back together
Yep.
8 times already. That's why.
We were on a
Literally.
break.
We were on a break.
I had a buddy of mine for years, him and his chick. Monday through Thursday they were together. Thursday night, like clockwork, they get in a fight.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, they were single, go do whatever they want. Sunday they'd kiss and make up and the clock would restart. They did that shit for years.
Tell me the
Before
marriage.
finally that weekend she met
Yeah.
someone else and didn't come back.
Damn, no, that's too much.
And that's the shit. It's
Yeah.
like years of that rotation, and they knew
Yeah.
it too, because they'd get
Yep.
called out for it. And it's like, no, we don't do that. And then Thursday, here it comes. Oh well, we got in a fight over what? I don't even remember. Let's go to
Yep.
the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't put my shoes up.
So that's a good one. I like that one. That's
That
very
was a really
common,
good
too.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I always thought that was like high school stuff, but like I've seen it as like people that we know
Yeah.
are
Do that
adults.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's pejoratively in high school, like it's a main thing, but it happens as like adults and stuff, and it's I guess more serious when you're an adult than it would be in high school.
I feel
100%.
maturity plays a lot into that shit too, because those
Yeah.
same people that stay in those kinds of circles, you realize they're really not doing anything themselves, right? Whether with their lives or they never really got out of that immaturity level from that
Mhm.
shit in the first place. So you can kind of pick up that, wait a minute, 1, 2, okay. They're
Yeah.
just like that. They never got away from that immaturity in the first place.
Agreed.
But I think that's where like wearing rose-colored glasses comes from. So, you know, like you think of this person as somebody completely different from everybody else, you know. And so it's hard to separate the person that they are and the person who you think that they are. And I think that's where it comes into the repetitive on again, off again relationship type of thing, because it's hard for that person to realize and take off those glasses and see what it is for what it is. And I think that's why people stay in those relationships for so long, because they don't see that. They don't see what other people see. They only see whatever they want to.
Josie,
I think we lost her.
Yeah, Josie, your
Yeah, we lost her.
dial-up internet shut off.
Yep. Yep.
Look at her. I
Okay.
think she's just frozen.
She's straight frozen on that. That's a great
I'm gonna
one.
edit it to where like I put like faces and crowns and things on her.
Right? Just a crowd behind her.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
That's actually the clip I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this as the clickbait. I'm gonna crop that picture.
I just hope she's not still talking, because I'm gonna feel so bad if she just
Text
is
her, Ed.
continuing on.
Next
right
back
there.
in, and it's a whole different tangent. She's on the next topic.
She's on the next topic.
Ed,
and
text
shit.
her. Tell her she's frozen.
In the meantime, this is a great segue to let everybody know, of course, we have this Discord podcast. We are going to be coming back doing our actual YouTube channel here shortly. And of course, we all stream on Twitch and other platforms. Everything will be in the link in the description. I'm stealing Steve's shine, but we'll figure that out.
Okay, we all moved now. That's fine.
Yeah. Small technical difficulties,
Sorry
folks.
about that, guys.
Alright. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Hold
though.
on. Hold on. My phone died.
Oh.
How
I knew that was gonna
embarrassing
happen.
is that? Yo,
I knew that was gonna happen.
I was thinking that. I was like, she's plugged in.
To be fair, her fucking phone runs on like between 10 and 30% every day. So
There we go.
That's so. Actually, now it's better. What the heck?
Is it?
Now you have a full screen. Earlier you were
No.
just squeezed.
the volume's a little worse, but the
Yeah,
picture.
your audio's
She
a
don't have her
little...
headphones in because she's charging.
Wait.
I was gonna say, why didn't she just put it on her laptop in the first place? But
No.
That's your friend, kid.
yeah, I know.
I don't know. You just hear her in the background. So I think she's not plugging in. Her audio is bad because she don't have her headphones in because she's using the charging port. So she's probably getting some Bluetooth headphones. Is that what's happening?
I am getting headphones.
Yeah, look at that.
Do you have a mic?
Wait.
That's because I told her I would go over there and set up her Discord and bring in some peripherals to do it, like a webcam and a
Peripherals.
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 Yeah,
It's a big word, I know.
the side shit you use for like a PC computer.
I was like, I know like the peripherals, like on the side, like when you see, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, you're not gonna know.
That's Perry Fulfuls.
Beautiful.
Make that up.
Okay. Try this. Come
Starts
Fine, hold.
blaring loud, blasting our eardrums.
Story of Squid's life.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
can you hear me better?
That is
That is
better.
significantly better.
Yeah, way better. All right, now that we have these technical difficulties, go ahead and finish up with the last one. What did you do? 3 or was that
Oh.
2?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
on her
no,
last
two,
one.
One more.
Yeah, okay. She has
So
one more.
my
Okay,
third one. The third one was, and this one's for sure toxic and really bad. So going off of like been together for years, on again, off again thing, going through your significant other's phone,
Oh, that's one of mine.
and you
That
know,
was one of
and
mine,
looking-
yeah. That I'd written down.
and seeing things that you're uncomfortable with constantly. But here's the toxic thing, and here's how you know that the relationship isn't working, is when you see it and you're not even bothered by it anymore. Like, it doesn't bother you anymore. Or you just, like, look at it and you're just like, oh, yeah, he's cheating again. But, like, it doesn't hurt you anymore. And that's not okay.
Not at
To
all.
the point of where they're talking to other people and you're just like, I saw it coming. It doesn't even bother me anymore.
Well, you're at a point of either complacency or numbness that you just don't care. Without
Yeah.
a doubt.
Yeah.
Not
Toxic.
okay.
Or you were
And I
expecting
feel
it,
like
so.
that was definitely something in my past that I feel like the last straw for me, because it was just like, if I'm not even mad about this anymore, then I'm not in love, I'm not in love with you anymore. It's not, I don't have any kind of like thing towards that, like it was kind of easier to just be like, wow, yeah, that's it, like this is a toxic relationship. That's how I like come to terms with that is toxic, is the fact that like I can see these things happening and not care about it because it doesn't even hurt me anymore because it's happened so many times. So it's like, all right, whatever.
So which sorry, just to clarify, which part was the toxic part? The checking his
toxic
phone,
part-
or you just feeling numb, and that
The
they're
toxic part to me was the feeling numb.
okay. That makes more sense. Okay,
I
The
feel
consistent issue to where you just don't get bothered by it anymore. That's not okay. And it doesn't even have to be cheating. It can be anything. Like if that person, does something that consistently pisses you off or consistently berates you, going back to like Squid's topic or whatever that thing may be that they do that is obviously not okay, but you're so conditioned to it by that point that it's like, whatever. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm just going to live with it.
It's the
Which-
numbness
Okay.
of living with it, which is not okay because it's like that's not the kind of love you deserve,
Yeah.
Like it's the settling, it's settling. And why
Yeah.
are you settling for something that you don't want or don't deserve, That's
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah, it goes back to that whole Monday through Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then back to the same thing like Archie said. It's
Yeah.
that complacency, and then, it sucks that it takes most people that long, though, to get numb, to realize that it's bad.
Sure.
When
Years.
if they do it the
Years.
first time, you may give them a chance, and if they fuck up again, then it's like, okay, no, I got to get out of this. But most
that's
people will
what-
stay until the very end when they're just
But
drained.
That's where I'm
Um,
saying where the rose-colored glasses come in.
No,
Where the being in love and being just loving that person in general.
Yeah.
The difference between being in love and just loving in general. That's where that kind of gray area stems from with people that stay in relationships for that long.
it's definitely harder to like if you're not even like don't even want to waste the time to make the fight against that person, then it obviously means something bigger. Like if you're afraid to like even be like, I don't even want to bring this up because it's not even worth the fight. It's not even,
Literally.
I don't even want to fight. Like I don't even want. It's not even, if you're afraid to fight,
To the point
because
where
It's
you're
easier
just
to
like,
avoid the confrontation.
yeah, you're not passionate about that person anymore.
I feel that.
I hate confrontation, but I will.
Sam.
I hate
love
it. I hate
confrontation.
confrontation. No, I
We
hate it.
know,
It's the
RC.
worst. I
Yeah,
get
sorry.
so anxious with confrontation. I'm just like, oh, I hate it. I hate it.
I was like, I've been in the position where I just don't want to have the fight, so I just ignore it. I think we've all been there before.
Nah, I like fighting.
Maybe not RC, but
Not me.
I enjoy
RC's
like
just ready to go.
confrontation.
Yeah, no,
if it's healthy.
I've burned relationships to the fucking ground because I wanted to prove that point. I was that dickhead that was being prideful or vain.
he
And I wanted to
Okay.
prove the point of like, hey, we're gonna have this conversation and we're gonna have it now. If you have a fucking problem with that, well then what are we doing?
We're at church
And
though.
that-
we're at my baby's.
Sir, this is a Chuck E. Cheese.
We're at my niece's bat mitzvah. Can we do this later? No, now. We're at Bible study, RC.
we're at a funeral.
I don't care. We're bringing it up. He can wait. You can wait on the eulogy.
For real.
That's a good one right there. I like
Yeah,
all of them.
Those are my toxic traits or toxic signs that you know you're in a toxic relationship. Because I've asked myself that for sure. Because I'm just like, how do I know that this is toxic? Because you'll be in that relationship and you'll just be like, you know what? No, this is it. Like this, you know, this person gets me. This person is this person. Blah blah blah. But then you have to ask yourself, are you settling? Like you have to question yourself. Like, is this settling? Are you happy? How do you feel when you leave them? And are you numb to all of the things that should not be okay in a relationship? You know.
Yeah.
And that's something that people have to just figure out for themselves personally and grow for themselves and figure out what they want out of their relationship and what they want out of love, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. These are all great ones. Good job, everyone.
Good job, Joe.
Anybody have anything else on Josie's 3? All right, I guess it's my turn.
It's all you.
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy.
I'll make it quick because I don't like the guys. I don't really like the podcast to run too long. But I
Yeah,
will make
but-
it happens. It happens. I know. And
So every now and then it being a little longer
because
isn't
when we
bad.
have hot conversations, I don't want it to end, of course.
Yeah.
I have the 3 I pick. The first one is kind of like a personal one. Ed knows it. The other ones are kind of structured in a way that I perceive to be toxic, personally. But they might not be toxic. But it's just the way I've kind of been grown up. The first one is if your partner doesn't let you choke the chicken, doesn't let you play with the bells and whistles, if you know what I mean, RC.
Handle your business.
Yeah.
Are they considering that cheating or something?
They're considering
I've had a girl
it as
that
a
did.
selfish act because it's like, why are you doing that when you have me? Let me tell you everyone straight real quick. Playing with your
Yeah.
pee, playing with your pee and balls.
Let you make some cream fresh.
But that goes both ways. That goes both
Yeah,
ways, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
women help themselves too. It's not
I'm
just
not.
men
Yeah,
who do
I'm
that
not.
shit.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not talking.
I get
about
where you're
that nature.
going.
Yeah,
I
but
see where you're going.
But personally,
I'm
I would.
not gonna lie,
if you were
that-
mad, yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
It
Like,
is.
what?
It is.
You're doing it by
definitely-
yourself.
It's crazy.
Like-
And when I was with someone, and this is a personal one, I couldn't do that, and it was a big argument because we also weren't having intercourse. So that was a huge thing, and she would always say, like,
Okay,
"Why are
no,
you
that makes sense.
Why are you doing that when you have me?" But the thing is one is
That makes sense.
one's a chore, and one is an intimate love it's a physical form of love I'm giving you. So that's the difference. Is one to me is a chore. Like I'm doing it because I haven't done it in a while. I am having trouble sleeping. The other one is I want you to be happy and I want you to show you this physical form of love that I have for you. So there's a level there that's different, and it's not just about blowing a load. It's not.
Well,
Okay,
medically
'cause I was
speaking,
gonna-
the average male is supposed to ejaculate 3 times a week. 3 times in a
Me too.
7-day cycle, the male is supposed to ejaculate 3 times. Just throwing that out there from a medical standpoint.
Got it. Thank you. I'm gonna write that
Yeah,
down in my
write
diary.
that down.
Okay, gotta
Yeah.
write that down.
Yeah.
Nah,
Just throwing
I
that
was
out there.
just thinking, like, so, like, you weren't having intercourse with her, so that's why you were, you know, doing you?
No,
Well, he was just doing him.
Yeah, I was just doing me, but we also weren't having intercourse.
That
we
just
were,
didn't help.
We were sometimes, but it was kind of a rare thing, and it was always like initiated by me. I'd have to like do like I'd
I
have
get
to
that.
pull out all the stuff. I had to light the candles, put on the Boys to Men.
I mean,
Boys
I've had,
dinner.
toxic, relationship in that kind of sense too, where it's just like the sexualness, of like the intimacy of like having sex with your partner and stuff, or not. Like if you're not having sex with them, but you're like, doing yourself, it's just like, what's wrong with me,
Mhm.
Especially if it's like a rare occasion too, like, you know what I mean? Like we're not having sex, it's been a month, but you'll like, do yourself. Why don't you want to do me?
Yeah,
so I get that.
I can see that point of view,
Yeah.
but that's not what was happening. It was more
Yeah,
like
and-
like you were that they were thinking like you're doing that when you have me, but you're not interested in me. Like
Yeah,
like
we're not
Yeah.
doing that either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
Yeah,
so
that makes
most
sense.
people will see that as, I guess, cheating or whatever, because you're looking at other girls, or if they're looking at other guys, like, okay, you don't find me sexual, even if y'all are like, I guess my thing is that, I guess their thought is like, okay, well, we are doing it, but you want to do that, so you're seeing, okay, well, you prefer that over this, and it's like, no, not
Like the
necessarily.
strip
That's
club issue.
yeah, that's
It is.
actually that's part
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
and it
it's
also
like the
came
strip
back,
club issue.
like it came back to like she would go through my phone and looked if like I was like if I cleared my history,
Ooh.
and one time I didn't. Yeah, you definitely
Ooh.
boys, you don't want to, and especially if you're into the weird stuff, you definitely don't want your girlfriend going through.
Yeah.
When you're tangenting
Don't
down the
judge
weird
me.
shit after an hour,
Yeah.
you're not even doing anything anymore. You're just looking.
Yeah, she was
I feel
not
like
happy.
it needs to be, like a 50-50 thing with your partner. You know what I mean? Like, they gotta spice it up. You gotta spice it up. You know what I mean? Keep it interesting. Keep it interesting in the relationship with your partner and stuff.
Well, see,
Yeah.
it wasn't even like I wasn't interested in her. I was very interested in her at the time.
No,
I
but
was
like her, like the
Yeah.
50-50
Yeah,
of
oh,
like
yeah.
her like being interested. Like she should have not she should have, but like if it was like this whole like, oh, he's looking at this or whatever, like try something else. You know what I mean? Like have lingerie or have fun, talk about it. Like, hey, what
Yeah.
do you
Bring
like?
your friend into the bedroom. Whatever works.
Your friend in the bedroom. Yeah, what's your friend doing?
Well, my thing, I want to say, like, I don't know what y'all think, but like, why does the guy most of the time always have to initiate everything? Like he was saying, he was having to do all the stops and initiate it. Well, if they care enough and want to enough, why can't they initiate it too? Or the other
That's
person,
true.
whether it's a guy or a girl.
I mean, as a girl, I definitely initiate, so I can't even talk about.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying,
There's a level of
But in
control
general-
that girls will have over you if they're not the ones initiating it. They can control you a little better because, like, do you want this? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to initiate it. Like, I feel like there is a level of control there. Now, that's just in my experience, but that's also because I've been a reacher. There's reachers and there's settlers, and like on an attractive level, like one of them is more attracted to the other. In this case, I thought she was more attractive than me, so I was the reacher. I had to initiate it, and that's kind of me being a little more brass on it. Like I'm just saying, like that's what I would always think is like she was very pretty, and I was like, so it was kind of that.
I don't say that.
Very that was an issue I dealt with. Whenever I was kind of coming up, is that, yeah. But that was something that I always thought like it was a big thing because one, I'm not sure if I was addicted to it when I was a young whippersnapper, but like it was definitely happening more frequently than I had anticipated, and I just felt like it was. I didn't want to pressure her into doing that, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I get you.
All right, let's go to the number 2. The number 2
Your
is
second one.
yeah. If they compare you to their ex.
Oof. Oof.
Not good at all.
This is
Can
so
I get
No.
an F?
God, this
No.
is toxic.
Don't
bro.
compare.
Head
Don't
and F.
compare.
Jesus,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, it's so toxic if you're doing that. If you, and especially if you're bringing it back, like, oh well, Todd cheated on me. Like, okay, that was you and Todd. That's not you and me.
Fuck Todd.
If you're
Yeah,
bringing
yeah,
up
yeah.
the past relationship and you're letting it affect this current relationship,
you
then
now.
he's winning. Then Todd's winning out there. Fucking Todd. if you're continuously bringing them up, yeah, fucking.
You got to
Todd.
be healed from that trauma.
You can't move on with a relationship if you're
Yeah.
still continuously bringing them up into the mix. Now, so I've had it where the girl brought it up on the first date. They brought up an ex.
Ooh.
I've had it where they brought it up throughout. It's definitely something that I'm not a fan of, and it definitely makes you feel like, well, damn, if you're talking about him so much, why don't you, are you in love with him? And that was the case.
Yeah.
One of my exes is that she was like talking about this dude like all the time. She ended up getting back with him, and of course that made total sense because she brought him up every single time we had the opportunity of having like any chance of a future, and that was always kind of an issue. I would always like, well, damn, go marry
I've had
him.
that. I've had where like they just like constantly like, oh, my ex, like we'll just like be sitting in a restaurant or something, and it'll just be like, oh, my ex used to look like that, or my ex used to have all this, and blah, like just constantly bringing it up. You know what I mean? And it's just like, do you have to bring it up? Like, do you have to tell me like that your ex looks like this? What does that have to do with eating dinner right now with me? You know, like I don't need to know that. That's something that I don't need to know. So like, why say it? I don't understand, you know?
Or when they bring up something that like, you're interested in, like, you know, like if you're into like lifting weights, they're like, oh yeah, my ex used to be a really big bodybuilder. Like, well, fuck me, right?
I hate, that's terrible.
Fuck
No.
me. Oh yeah, my ex used to be a pro Tekken player. What? like, like the one thing I'm decent at, like that's all they do.
The only thing I have.
Yeah.
Like they'll bring up.
Get away from me!
Oh, my ex used to be a, you know, Steve. Like they bring up their ex in a way like that contradicts like your goals, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck me, right? Fuck my loser ass. But that's how it works.
The belittling factor, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like it's easy, like especially when they're like exes is like a UFC fighter or something. That just sucks. There's no win in that one. yeah. My ex is George St. Pierre. What? The
Oh my
UFC
God.
fighter? Retired UFC fighter.
Oh, man.
No, but like
Yeah, bringing up the ex is definitely something that's not healthy, for sure. I mean, like, to bring it up in, like, you would have to do it in a healthy way, you know? Like, let them know, like, I guess, like, what you're traumatized with that. Not in the sense of, like, always bringing it up and always having to contradict what you're doing, you know? Or comparing. That sucks.
I don't know. I don't even think there's a healthy way to bring it up. I think the only way you bring it up is if you ask about it. That's the only healthy way. Is if like, if you ask like, did your ex take you out to dinner? But see, even then, like, I'm being kind of toxic because I'm trying to find out. I'm basically trying to find the winning strategy to your heart by saying that. Because if they never took you to dinner, then I'm like, oh, well, then I got to take her to dinner more. So like learning about their ex is kind of like a winning strategy for me. Everything he did wrong, I can do that. But then I'm also kind of being manipulative in that regard. So if I'm using the bad things your ex did to kind of benefit my relationship with you, that's not good. But again, so I don't think there's any real way to bring up an ex in any like comfortable setting. Definitely not at a baby shower.
It's for sure not. It's for sure not comfortable. But I do feel like it is. If you bring it up in a sense of like, this is what I'm feeling from, depending, you know, it depends on like how long are you in this current
a lot of variables,
yeah, lots of variables, but like in just like the most, you know, healthiest way, I guess, is to just, the only reason you're bringing them up is to tell them or to explain or to, you know, like communicate why you are the way that you are currently, you know, in a new relationship. Because I will say that you do bring on all of those traits into a new relationship because it is still with you. All of that trauma, all of the things that you've gone through, you're scared. You know what I mean? It's somebody new, so you're even more like, have like that kind of like anxiety and stuff like that. So I understand that, you know, but you shouldn't just bring it up like
I'll
willy-nilly,
debate that.
You know.
All the baggage.
I'll debate that because
Baggage.
I don't think you should enter a new relationship if you're still dealing with the trauma of a past relationship. I don't think you can do that. I think you shouldn't do that. I think you can do it, but I don't think you should do it. If you're still dealing with that like trauma, then you shouldn't getting a new relationship. Now, of course, that's not going to stop anyone, but I definitely think, I'm not saying like you just dwell on it and be alone by yourself the rest of your life. I definitely think getting help toward that, but like,
I guess that comes with the fact of like whoever you're talking to or if the person that you're talking to, like friendship, because whenever you start a relationship, it's a friendship at first, you know, you're friends with them first. So it's like you want to be open about your life and what you've gone through. And if that person or your ex or whatever was a big part of your life, like for years, or like it had a bigger impact on family, yourself, like lots of factors in that, you know what I mean? I think that there is like a healthy way to say, you know, like, this is my baggage, like, I don't want them, I don't care for them, like, they're out of my life, but this is the reason why I'm trying to heal myself. It's nothing because of you. That's
Agreed.
just me, and I'm trying to unlearn these toxic traits that I've had with this person. And like, that's how you start your friendship with that new relationship. That's if you like have like this person that you like or whatever, and that you're like trying to go forward with them because you are trying to move on. You know what I mean? There are times that you're trying to move on, and of course, the person, you know, that you've had this experience with your ex or whatever is definitely going to stay with you. I don't know for how long, but I mean, like, it's there in the back of your mind. And I think it's a healthy way of saying to your new partner, if you're starting as a friendship or whatever, like I said, lots of factors of saying, like, this is my baggage, this is me, I know that's not you, but I'm trying to unlearn these things, and I know that you're giving me what I want now. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I need now, and not that, you know, that kind of situation.
And that's all good and fair. Sorry, and you good? Or...
No, go ahead, kid.
Honestly, that's all good and fair in the beginning, but once y'all actually like get into the relationship, then that's where it should like.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring anything up, you can leave the ex part out of it. And
100%.
Like if they, you know, like anything like that, you can just leave that part out and just talk about everything else. But you don't have to say, oh yeah, well my ex or my ex, you know.
Yeah. No, that becomes with different territory. Like, if you're already like established all the baggage and stuff, let it go. You know what I mean? But like, if you're out having dinner and stuff, and you're constantly bringing up your ex, and you're constantly comparing your ex and stuff, that's not okay. That's the toxic trait right there.
That's what I was gonna say.
Is whenever like you're comparing or you're bringing it up every 2 seconds when there's no reason to. There's no reason to like bring them up. There's no like, oh well, this is why I'm feeling this way because of my baggage. It's not that. It's like, oh, well, my ex did this, or my ex did that, or blah, 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 blah. My ex used to look like this, or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it becomes toxic. When it's constantly being brought up and compared to like that.
Agreed. Yeah. I'll tell you the worst line I've heard about an ex. So there was a level of, we were watching a movie, it started getting intimate. You know, the intimacy level. That's by the way, but already that's the worst time to bring up your ex. She said, we're like making out, my hands were on a spot, and then I said, she said that my ex used to fuck me in the ass. Would you like to do that?
Oh, okay, that's not
instant drop.
You did not have to say your ex. You could have just been like, "Hey, baby, you want to try something good?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, she did say it like.
Hey, I like this kind of situation. Like,
there was a way.
Not that my ex used to do that.
Which is something that, like, if you've seen any Kevin, like, if you've seen Clerks 1, or no, Mallrats, they talk about, like, defiling women in the worst way, and it's, like, anal sex.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was what she told me, and I was like...
That's
the backseat of a Volkswagen?
I was like, dude, that's, like, you don't... You know, I'm good. That's what I said. I just said that, because I was so numb to that conversation. But, yeah, I'm going to actually...
What do you do?
I'm gonna bleep these out. In terms, yeah.
Do you continue that, or do you just like leave? Like, what do you do in that?
It depends what kind of you are. Because I can still get mine.
I'd be so upset. I'd just be like, I don't care what your ex did.
I should have been upset. But I wasn't. I was actually like more like just turned off. Like I was, just imagining them. Like that's it. Like I wasn't mad.
How long were you with this girl?
3 years.
Ooh.
No shit. So you had already had a relationship established prior to this conversation
was this in the beginning?
Like right when y'all started talking? Like what was the time frame of this?
This was in the beginning. Like, this was like 4 months in.
Oh, so
damn,
that's a good amount of time in. Never mind. If you're like a week or two or some shit, there's a variable degree there.
Yeah.
4 months. Yeah. That's y'all have talked about so much shit between then and there. That's not a conversation that should have happened.
Yeah. So
like if y'all are,
especially during like an intimate time. You know what I mean?
It was definitely. I forgot what we were watching.
Never bring up your ex in an intimate time.
Yeah. Never ever bring up your ex whenever.
Terrible.
Yeah.
About to lay some pipe down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you definitely,
Man.
you
It's
definitely,
not what you want to hear when you're laying pipe. Definitely not.
definitely,
it's
no,
not.
definitely laying pipe. You know, when you're slinging dong, that's the last thing you want to hear.
Playing the dog.
Yeah.
What's your last one, my guy?
All right, yeah, let's wrap
Yeah.
this up. I think my last one, because it was really about the going through the phone, and then just kind of covered that, but I will kind of extend on that. It's the level of insecurity that you have that forces you to kind of break the segment of trust by going through someone's phone. No offense, Jesse.
No worries.
I think honestly, when people go through your phone, it's probably the most disrespectful thing you can do. Because on my phone, I have a lot of private things on there that have nothing to do with me cheating or lying. I have things on there from the bros text. Like one of my homies is like, dude, I'm a mess, like getting emotional with me. And that's not for you to read. That's for me to read. That's not you. So don't go through that. But that's the best way to find out if you're cheating is to go through your dude's or your girl's like phone and look at her friends' text because they'll know.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm getting some reverb back. I think it's testing. Okay, don't worry, I'll cut that. So
Okay.
whenever you have a level of insecurity, and that's an insecurity issue, is like you're going through my phone. Why? Because I have trust issues. Well, why is that extend to me? Like I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you know it doesn't, but you know I just can't trust anyone. So I have done it where I've gone through people's phones, but I haven't done it in like the last 10 years. So like the last like two exes I've had, I haven't done it. So going through someone's phone is extremely disrespectful because there is a level of privacy that you are enumerated by being in a relationship.
Right.
So if you
I'm
go
not
through
gonna
someone-
lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I've been cheated on hundreds of times. So I feel, for me, the going through the phone is something like I don't want to find anything. Like I want to look, see nothing, and then be done with it. And I won't have to check you anymore. You know what I mean? Like I won't have to look. I won't have to worry. But if I find something and there is proof of that, then I've just proved everything that I was thinking right. And it's just like you're lying to me in that situation. So for me, personally, the going through the phone or whatever is definitely not a good thing. You know what I mean? That's just me having my trauma and being cheated on multiple times. And that's how I figured that shit out. You know what I mean? Because I have seen that stuff multiple times.
and that
So seeing
extends
those-
into like someone kind of coming like using the past relationship to dictate your future one. What if what if that was the
100%.
what if it was the perfect guy in the world, everything, and you're like he has to have something. Let me go through his phone. You go through his phone, he sees
guess-
you, and he says, "We're
Yeah.
done. You don't trust me, you don't respect me, you don't care enough to do that, and you just you know we're done." And you ruin something that could have been amazing because
Yeah.
of your insecurity. No offense.
I guess it goes by what you're feeling in the relationship. Like if something is sketchy happening, you know what I mean? Like you use your best judgment if you're gonna go through somebody's phone. Like you only go through it, or in my situation, or you know, whoever situation is if they're giving you a reason to. Like, are they acting sketchy? Like, are they like, you know what I mean? Like flirting with people, like kind of like on the side or something. For me, at least, if sketchy behavior is happening, I'm going to go through the phone because I'm going to need to know what this is because they're not going to tell me the truth. They're not. Their friends aren't going to tell me the truth. They aren't because they're on their side. So for me to know what the truth is, and if you're playing me, I got to see for myself, you know?
Yeah.
So it's only if I have signs of some like something's happening here or whatever. Like if I get a feeling or if like I see something
Some
or
odd shit.
whatever,
The
you know what I
sketchy
mean?
signs.
Then sketchy or whatever, then I am gonna go through it. And that's just me personally. I know it's a lot of people or whatever, but I wouldn't just go through it like if I'm happy. You know what
Every
I mean? Like,
minute of every day, whenever he sets it
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like if I'm like if I'm happy and everything feels good, whatever. But if it's sketchy, is when I will go through the phone because you know no one's gonna tell you that they're cheating or no one's gonna. And then how are you gonna know? You know?
That's
Like,
not the way you should
what?
find out though. Like you should like they shouldn't be cheating on you regardless. So
100%.
So if that's the case, then why not just give them the trust and then hopefully that you can honor it. Now, if they are, then they're scum. Low, like if you give them all your trust and they're the ones that are fucking up, then that's on them. The way that you respond to that, that's on you. Like if you're being proactive and going through the phone, that's a pre-reaction to what might not be. Trusting someone is very important to me, and I make it known. Like I'm like, listen, I'm gonna honor your right. I'm gonna honor your privacy, regardless of whatever's going on. I will never go to your phone. I'll never ask to see your phone, but I expect the same respect. I'm not gonna go through your emails. I'm not gonna go through your Amazon wish list, your Yahoo. I'm not gonna go anything. I'm not gonna invade your privacy ever. So now maybe that
You tell me to send a text for you, I'm gonna send that text for you. But that's it. Here's your shit back.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm very picky on that because I just don't. I was there. I did it. I went through that, and I remember feeling like so like low, and now I don't. I feel like me going through a phone made it was like a weakness that I had, so that's something that I don't want to deal with.
Did you find anything whenever you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
shit.
see, then that sucks. You know what I mean?
it did
Then
suck.
it's
It did suck. But then I forgot who told me. It was like later on. It was with one of the girls that I actually had a successful relationship. I remember like she was good. I remember going through her phone and I found nothing, and I remember feeling like really low, and like I was out here like not giving her the trust she deserved. She never went through my phone, and I didn't give her the trust that she deserved, and I always felt pretty shitty about it because one, I gave the trust to someone that didn't deserve it and was cheating. Then I didn't give the trust to someone that was not cheating. She deserved that trust. So I felt like I was, it was like, it wasn't like nothing too bad that I saw. It was just some titty pics that weren't to me. So I kind of figured they were to somebody else, and they were. So, but that's a big rip on my part. So yeah, I've been there and I know how it is, but I'm not gonna take away like your rights to privacy as a girlfriend. I never want you to feel like you can't have your private texts with your friends and your family. So that's
See,
just
I
me.
actually had an incident where it was the latter of that, where I was so open with a female that she felt like I had to be hiding something. Like, oh, here's my phone, here's my code, do what you want, like whatever. If you need that, have fun. Oh, here's my email, here's my whatever, have fun. I'd leave my phone on the table, I'd leave it unlocked, and then one day she asked me, she goes, "Why do you not have a lock on your phone?" I'm like, "Why? Why do I need one?" And that conversation skewed up, and when we finally split, that was the reasoning. She said that I was so open and so blatant with everything that I had to be fucking around. I had to be hiding something for how open I was. And I was like, no, I just don't have fucking trust issues.
That's toxic.
All it is, I just don't have any trust issues. You know what I mean? Like, over, but
See, like,
I
if
try not to
somebody
hold
is
on to it.
Yeah, if somebody is that open, you know what I mean, that they're just like, yeah, whatever, then I won't go through it. You know what I mean? Like, I have no reason to.
Dead ass.
You know,
Wouldn't,
like,
if they left it on the table and went to the store, you wouldn't go through it.
No.
Okay.
It only happens.
There's no need.
All right.
There's no question.
It only happens when there is sketchiness happening.
A pretext for it.
Some weird shit happening, and you're just like, I'm a little uncomfortable. And I've been hurt many of times in that same way, so I'm scared to continue and not know, and no one's going to tell me otherwise, so it has to be for myself, So that's where I come from with the whole, like, getting on the phone and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
No, I think that's toxic. I think you're going to miss out on an opportunity one day, and I'd hate for that to happen. That maybe one guy that's going to be perfect for you, or maybe you're with him right now, and and it's just not going to work out because the lack of trust. So, but you know what? I'm not here to judge. I don't judge anyone. That's my personal preference.
No. It's healing. It's healing. You know what I mean? It's all healing from the past and baggage and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, like my significant other. But anyways,
I get you.
Those were.
I think the main thing.
Go ahead. Sorry, Ed.
I think the main thing is that helps is if you're aware of the traits that you have and are working towards getting better, then that's the good thing. But if you're aware and don't care, or you're just not aware, that's the problem. It's just being aware of what you may do or what you may, like, how you may be, and actually trying to better yourself for that, then that's a really better thing to do for anything, rather than just ignoring it or just not knowing.
Yeah.
I get that.
Feel you.
I also don't want people to go to my phone because I have a bunch of weird like search histories. I don't, not even like weird like sexual or anything like that. Just like how many push-ups can like Usain Bolt do? Like just weird things I don't want to explain. Like
Bro,
stupid shit like that.
You know what's on my phone? Just like for a while, I was just like, what do dolphins like mate? So like,
What'd you
What
say?
do cat penises actually look like?
no, literally. So on my Google search history, it's just like dolphin penis.
Clown mixes brownie batter with it. Never mind. Never mind. But some weird stuff can be searched.
Yeah, anything can be searched, man.
Yeah.
You type in 3 words and you'll find some shit.
No, my search is really weird. Sometimes it's like how to cook brownies, how long do you cook brownies, what does
weird.
Sandra Bullock look like naked, how to finish how long do brownies cook for? Like it goes, like what did you do in between? Did you stop and? So
I was waiting for the brownies.
Yes, it's definitely off-putting. You know, like that's always a thing.
Says on the box.
I don't want to explain myself. That's the problem.
I got you.
Well, all right,
Fuck, this
guys.
is fun, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
well-
were my 3 guys. Anything you guys have to add, and we can start closing it out.
No.
Not really. That was pretty much it.
I would love to extend my gratitude and appreciation for Josie. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks,
Clap,
girl.
fuckers.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Love you.
appreciate it.
I love
Thank
you
you. We'll
all.
be getting more
You're
guests.
the best.
Now for next week's hot topic, goss. We're doing the do's and don'ts of a breakup. Very excited for that one. It's going to be very interesting. These are going to get hot and bothered, and I'm hopefully everyone gets to listen, and we'll have a new guest. And don't count Josianne. She'll be on another episode. Maybe she'll download Discord for her laptop so her phone doesn't die.
It is on our laptop. I'm using my laptop.
It is on our laptop.
Oh,
She
yeah.
should-
Oh,
Well, hopefully her laptop doesn't die either.
oh yeah. Hopefully her laptop. won't
We'll
die.
make sure she plugs in her phone.
It's plugged in. I swear to God, it's plugged in right now. My phone is charging.
Okay. But I really appreciate you, Josie, and thank you so much.
Thank you,
Of
girl.
course.
Thank you.
This is really fun, guys. I love hanging out with y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Y'all are my family. I love y'all so much.
Love you
It's
too.
so much fun.
Me too, girl.
Definitely. With that being said, I will link all the socials in the description. And that's all I have, you guys. Thanks, guys, for listening and watching. 3 Guys, 1 Discord. We are out of here. Bye.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Well,